Today, I want to talk to you about the golden standard and my experiences with it. Growing up with the expectations of other people is never easy, especially if it's people that you care about. So, what exactly do I mean by the golden standard? Specifically, I'm talking about the set of standards that are set on us by parents or family members, pretty much anyone that is considered our older role models. These standards are generally hard to achieve, and they also feel very overwhelming and add a lot of pressure to our lives, especially when we're younger. Some of the things that come along with the golden standard are things like going to college, getting a good job after college, and pretty much any traditional means of stability and financial success. It may also include things like respecting your elders at all times, not doing any drugs or alcohol, and not arguing back. Now, this isn't part of the golden standard that makes it hard to deal with. What makes the golden standard hard to deal with is when these different requirements are brought up to the higher limits, where it's not just enough to go to high school and go on to college, but to get into a good high school and an even better college, and even to get straight A's while doing all of that. What I challenge you all to do is to reset the golden standard for what you think it is and the golden standard that you are going to apply to other people. It's important to understand that the golden standard that we should all follow are the ones that we set for ourselves. We all don't need to be doctors, lawyers, and engineers, and there are plenty of professions that will allow us to thrive in life. In my opinion, the things that make a golden standard golden are happiness and stability. And I feel like the golden standard that's passed down to us tend to focus more on the stability and not the happiness. Especially when struggling, it's hard to believe that there is a world where people could be happy and stable at the same time. Lots of families tend to believe that you can only have one or the other, but this is farther from the truth. They teach how easy it is to be happy and how unstable life can be. Lots of times older people will talk about how hard their life was or how many different types of experiences they dealt with where they were just struggling through life all the time. And popular to contrary belief, it's not because these people want to brag about their struggles that they've had in the past. A lot of the times, the reasons why these people like to tell their stories or like to tell why they struggle is to explain to us how their life was and how these things that they're trying to teach will help us not get into those situations. In short, they don't want us going through the experiences they went through. My parents used to tell me about how they used to go to school by walking for miles and barely having shoes or shoes that are broken. And even though I heard this story 1,000 times and it sounds like they're just trying to tell me about how much harder their life was, I realized that there's a lesson behind all of these different stories they're trying to tell. Yes, it can be annoying to hear these stories over and over again, but it's never bad to have a reminder of the lesson that's behind the story. At some point, you'll hear this story 2,000 times and then 3,000 times, and at that point, I think you can just tell whoever's telling you the story that you've got the point. If you can explain it properly, they'll most likely stop because they know you've understood it. But why is it important to understand that happiness and stability are in the same bucket, where our parents or our caretakers are coming from with these stories and all of this stuff that I'm saying? The way that this all ties together is that the people that are trying to teach us lessons are looking out for us, but they have a preconceived notion of what the golden standard and what a perfect life looks like. On top of having a different idea of what the perfect life looks like, they also have a different idea of how to get there. And the truth is that we're not going to achieve the perfect life that they're telling us about by the route that they're trying to lead us down. Their ideas that helped build their golden standard and how to reach a level of happiness and stability were created through their own experiences in life. Experiences in life that were just so much more different than how things are now. Even though they tried to explain all their experiences, the most that we can pull out of it are moral lessons. We can learn what it's like to be a smoker for 40 years by listening to somebody who smoked cigarettes for 40 years, but it's good to remember that that isn't our life. So they could tell us not to smoke, and great, we can stay away from cigarettes and save ourselves a lot of health issues. But as soon as they start talking about health issues that they got around the 20-year mark or the 30-year mark, it just doesn't apply to our life anymore. Even the advice that they give for financial education or just any type of educational literacy are going to be outdated and different to what the times are now. Once we understand that we're in a different time and place than them, it makes it a lot easier to forge our own path and create our own golden standard. Am I saying to not listen to the people that took care of you? Absolutely not. It's important to listen to anybody regardless of their age because everybody offers you a new perspective. Listening to different perspectives allows us to broaden our horizons and to grow and mature. It allows us to see things in a different way that we wouldn't have seen by ourselves. What I am saying is that the people that raised you decided to work really hard so that they can give you an opportunity. The opportunity to have more freedom and to create a better living for yourself. The signal that gets mixed up is that they actually don't know better than you when it comes to this opportunity. Knowing how to traverse the world as it is now is something that you can do a lot better than somebody that's 10, 20, or 30 years older than you. We live in a time where a video, a written article, or a TikTok can go viral in 24 hours and make somebody's career. Yet there are people that are 40 years old that don't know that the internet has this type of ability. The world is connected and it's connected at our fingertips, and lots of people that are older than us don't know how to use that. So yes, be grateful to the people that gave you the opportunity. Always be happy that they're around, or at least try to appreciate the things that they do. But know that you are in control of your own life and you have the biggest amount of control towards creating a large impact. Think about whatever it is that gives you these things. Whatever gives you financial stability, whatever you're passionate about, whatever makes you happy, whatever makes you excited. Go for those things and start to see where those things start to intersect with each other. As you start to find these different parts of your life that intersect with each other, you'll slowly start forming your own set of standards. This is what I believe the golden standard should be. If you're having issues finding these intersections or even finding the things that help bring these qualities into your life, then I recommend for you to introspect more. Start reflecting internally, look at other people's perspectives, and if you want an easy outlet, you can just watch other videos on my channel. At least then you can have one other person's perspective that influences the way that you think. If you're like me, aiming for things in your life that will make you happy and stable are great and all, especially if it includes your passion. But sometimes you just don't feel like letting people down. You're not going to let them down. The golden standard that we're creating happens to align with what their golden standard wants. A golden standard is supposed to provide happiness and stability at the minimum. So as long as you do that, you're not letting anybody down. On top of that, it's crazy to think that we should care about letting other people down when it comes to our own life and our own ambitions. At one point, I was scared about what my parents thought or what my classmates would think. But years down the line, I started to ask myself, what if I let myself down? And at that point, I realized how crazy it was that I was willing to sacrifice all this time and energy for other people, but I wasn't willing to put even a fraction of that amount for myself. So put your own needs over other people. Don't worry about letting other people down. Worry about what's going to let yourself down. What would make you regret your life? And once you find some things that you think you might regret, try not to do that. If you think that you're going to regret smoking, or you think that you're going to regret not studying for your test the next day, then study for the test. And it's okay to listen to these opinions or to let it affect us in some way. Sometimes criticism is a good thing. I'm just saying that we shouldn't let our motivation be external validation from others. Find internal motivators and use them as a guide, not what would make you look great in front of other people. People may see us every now and again, but we look at ourselves in the mirror every single day. Anyways, I hope this video helped you. Know that you're not alone. Know that the golden standard doesn't have to be what it is today. If you liked this video, I'd appreciate it if you left a like, subscribed, and leave a comment on what your thoughts are. Until next time, stay productive, keep on improving, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.